Hey guys, it's Will here, and I'm here at 40k Gaming's COG Old School tournament. So yeah, it's a one-day tournament. I've talked about it a little bit on my channel before. Basically, the idea with this is that instead of you know, all the sort of modern stuff you get in 40k, like formations and Lords of War and all that crazy stuff, allies, it's just bringing it back to how it was back in the day. So it's 1500 points, single force organisation chart. Nothing from outside your codex. Unless it's in your codex, you are not using it. So it's going to produce somewhat of a different sort of tournament. It's going to be 4 games over a day, so it's going to be a bit intense time-wise, but yeah, with the smaller lists we should be able to do that. Yeah, for full details, check the video I put up, sort of talking about what I expect sort of to happen with this tournament. But anyway, let's have a look at what I'm running and some of the other armies. So here's the Necron list I'm bringing. Due to not having formations, I've had to go non-Decurion, but that's given me some new options, try something a bit different. So I'm running a converted Oracan the Diviner as my warlord, and then I've also got a Necron Lord with the Resurrection Orb and the Solar Staff. Unit of Lich Guard with Sword and Shield, and they're all running in the night side. Then my troops, Immortals, Warriors, give me a nice sort of solid core, and finally fast attacks. I've got Wraiths, Tomb Blades and Destroyers. So quite a compact list, but hopefully I'm going to do what I need it to do. I've got a couple of Batrettes up with this list, so feel free to check them out, and yeah, let's see what everyone else has brought. So someone here's gone for quite a bold move, taking what looks like a full Militarum Tempestus army. Really liking the look of those Tauroxes there. Nice colour scheme he's got going there. Be interesting to see how this does. And this looks like being one of the strongest armies out here. We have a White Scar Biker army, and literally everything is bikes. There is nothing here that's not a bike. So I'm guessing this is loaded up with Grav and Melter and all that stuff. And yeah, going to be a bit of a threat on the top tables, I think. And here we've got another of the armies that I think is going to be a big threat in this tournament. We've got Lee's Eldar army, so we've got masses of jet bikes, some D cannon batteries, and these rather nice converted warp spiders. So yeah, decent list there with some war walkers and a Farseer. I'm not quite sure what these two Space Marine bikes are doing there. I'm assuming they're just on there for some non-game related purpose, because they're definitely not allowed in this as allies. But yeah, nice little army, and I like the sort of the airbrush effect he's done on these. These are looking cool, and yeah, not wanting to face this army though. Would not want to draw against this. So here we got Lewis's Tyranids. Now this army in a slightly different form won the COG 1750 earlier in the year, but might have a tougher time of it because Tyranids do suffer from not having access to all their formations in this format. We've got something very rare there. Is that Swarm Lord?
That is the Swarm Lord.
Yeah, so we have Swarm Lord here. We've got a couple of Carnifexes, and we have a Turvagon, and then masses and masses of little Grigglies. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Nids do. Not considered one of the top tier armies, but Lewis did win the last tournament.
I did,
so,
but I feel like today's not going to be that day.
No, not going to get 2 on the bounce. And over here, got my mate Chris, and he's brought Orcs. Very brave man, bringing this many Orcs to a tournament, although he is somewhat mechanised. This is kind of the army I was, sort of type of list I was thinking of running, but never really got it working. But hopefully, yeah, you should.
Just hope for a bit of luck, and then we'll see how it goes. Lucky stick. My face is blue.
They're painted blue. We've got the lucky stick. You should be in for some good luck. Lucky green T-shirt. Here we go. And here's Sam's Nurgle Chaos Demon army. He's got 2 units of Plague Bearers, 2 units of those flying drone things, 2 Demon Princes, 2 Heralds of Nurgle, and a Great Unclean one.
This army I've played against a couple of times, and it's really strong. It generates a lot of psychic dice, which the 2 flying demon princes use to spam out powers like Psychic Shriek to do more damage than you think they would, and they also have a 2+ save when they jink, because they gain the Shrouded Roar and then they jinx, so they have a 2+ cover. And yeah, it just catches me out a bit, and that Great Unclean one is, as you'd expect, pretty hard to take down. So not a bad little army there. I'm expecting that this could do quite well based on how it's been in his practice games. And here's an army that really caught my attention. This is a Star Wars themed Astra Militarum army. So his general down there is just a standard Imperial Guard officer, but he's converted to be Darth Vader, which is awesome. He's got his shuttle there, his Primaris Psyker is Emperor Palpatine, and then all his veteran squads are all converted to be Imperial Stormtroopers. So we've got basically Cadian bodies painted white with then Space Marine heads. Very simple conversion for those troops, but very effective and a really nice army. Anyway, that's a good look at the armies. Now let's see some of the battles.
Okay, so here we go for game 1. It's corners deployment, table quarters for scoring objective points. My opponent here has brought Space Wolves. He's got bikes and 2 units of Thunderwolves. He's got a couple of Rune Priests in there, so pretty hard hitting list, but very compact. He has got 2 units of Blood Claws off the table in their flying dedicated transports. He's got first turn, so I've set up quite defensively, just making the most of my Necrons' superior numbers at this stage. Here we go, bring it on!
So the battle there really didn't progress as I was expecting. I thought all these hard-hitting Space Wolf units were going to come straight for me down the middle of the board, but instead they actually looped round behind that big building in his deployment zone and kind of kept me at very long range until his reserves turned up. And then I thought, you know, the Blood Claws would come out and start fighting, but instead they stayed in their flyers for a good few turns. Battle essentially went to two big grinds between the Lich Guard and the Thunderwolves, and the Wraiths and the Thunderwolves, and it was looking pretty close until the final turn, when the Blood Claws dropped out of their flyers and started trying to grab what table quarters there were still available.
So after a long hard slog there, it ended up 5 points to the Space Wolves and 4 to the Necrons. I lost it basically by first blood, so yeah, a little bit disappointed in that. We had to really rush it because only had an hour and a half to play the game in. So
and we started late.
So it only went to turn 5. We didn't even roll. If it had gone on one more turn, I think I could have pulled it back. But hey, start the day with a good game, but a tight loss in the end. But you know, had fun. Sam, how'd you get on?
Crushed it. I was playing Tempestus. Well, against Tempestus with my nurgle demons.
Yeah, those nurgle demons are nasty.
Yeah, I couldn't get to his get through his vehicles because he had like 6 Taroxes. But the second his infantry were out of Tarox, they just died. Psychic Shriek rolled nothing less than a 13 all game, which is pretty good.
Nice.
He couldn't get through my 2-up covers because we had quite a lot of ruins on the board.
Yeah.
So I baited him out and destroyed him. Finished 9-4 in the end, so a win, but not significant.
Nice one though, good, well done.
Yeah, good start.
Good start to the day.
I fear I've got White Scar bikes next, so it's like 46 bikes.
Oh yeah, that Jason's list is nasty, but
we'll see how it goes.
Jason's a very strong list, but no disrespect to Jason, he's not a top tier player, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes though. He's got a very good list and he's getting a lot better these days.
Yeah, so we'll see what my demons can do against bikes.
But anyway, yeah, join us again for game 2. Okay, so here we are. We've got this suitably Necron-y board here. My opponent here is Ollie, who I played back in the summer at Ultimate Commander. He's just taking his first turn now because we are really pushed for time, trying to fit in 4 games in a day rather than 3. Mission is 3 objectives across the centre line. So it's the one me and Sam played on my channel a little while ago. But yeah, should be tough. There's going to be a lot of firepower coming my way. But yeah, bring it on. Let's see what the Necrons can do here.
So pretty much as expected, with Tau having first turn, Ollie was able to do huge casualties to a large chunk of my force. But fortunately, there was like the odd survivor from both warrior squads and still a few of the mortals up, which I was able to then hide in cover to essentially save them for late game objective grabbing, which really came back to bite him in the arse at the end of the game. His other sort of big mistake was bringing his Riptide too far forward, or one of his Riptides. He got a really good jump distance on the assault phase move, and decided to be quite aggressive with it, but hadn't reckoned on how fast my Wraiths were. Essentially, the Riptide was sitting on the centre line, and the Wraiths managed to pull off a turn 1 charge without too much difficulty, to be honest, thanks to their fast movement. They took 2 turns or 2 assault phases to beat it in combat as well, which worked in my favour because in his next shooting phase they were locked, but by my next movement phase they were free to go again. So they did huge damage. I think they did all die by the end of the game, but they'd done a great deal of work for me there.
Okay, so yeah, in the end that went rather well. Where he'd brought his Riptide forward, my Wraiths were able to start chomping, and then Orican turned up and yeah, finished off the rest of his army basically. And the final nail in the coffin was him forgetting my destroyers were fast attack and therefore scoring in that mission. So yeah, nice solid Necron victory there of 9-1. How'd your game go? You were playing Eldar, weren't you?
Yeah, I played Eldar. It was a pretty subpar list. I really didn't know his army that well. But he played all right. Problem was, it's a game type where it's 3 objectives across the middle, each worth 3 victory points. So, you know, we only played for turn 3 because he was a bit slow. And we started late again. Hopefully we'll start on time this time, so an hour and a half should be in. It's not long enough to play a game.
No, it isn't. I think the tournament's gone really well, but if I had to make one constructive criticism, I think you'd be better off doing 3 games rather than 4.
Yeah, it's just not long enough. But yeah, it came down to I bubble wrapped the objective, he squeezed some jet bikes in, contested them all. He had first blood and linebreaker, I had linebreaker, 2-1 loss.
It's a pain in the butt that, but
it's a bit of a crap game type, but the next game types are better. So
yeah, the next one is
1 in the middle, which is progressive, and turn score 1 victory point. 1 friendly, 1 in the enemy deployment zone. The enemy one's worth 6 victory points, the friendly one's worth 3.
Okay, very nice. And is that
Hammer and Anvil deployment and heavies are objectively secured.
So it might not suit me too well due to my complete lack of heavy support and dislike of Hammer and Anvil, but you know, should be good fun, and so far it's going quite well.
Out of the games I've had out of it, it was the
Jason, come over here. Get your butt on camera. So this is Jason,
Hello, everyone.
mate of ours. He's okay. Didn't think you were that close. You were the one with that red White Star biker list, weren't you? How's that getting on?
That's brilliant. It's doing really well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised? So that's what, 2 wins on the bounce?
Yeah.
Nice,
wins.
nice.
Both of us.
Well, good luck. Yeah, we're both on 1 win each, so yeah.
We're not doing too well, are we?
I might end up against Phil though.
Oh,
Bike on bike.
what's
White Scar bikes versus White Scar bikes.
bike on bike?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Con off.
Awesome. All right, well, good luck with that, and yeah, we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, I'll see.
Okay, so I've just set up for the 3rd game here. I've actually got first turn this time, so I'm going to use that to try and spring forward and make something of it. My opponent has this rather nice Imperial Guard army. This is Craig here. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel down in the description. And yeah, lovely army here. It's like a Star Wars theme. So all his Imperial Guard veterans are stormtroopers. His Psycho over there is Emperor Palpatine. His company commander back here is Darth Vader. He's got these converted so Canton's Manticores, and then he's in reserves got a Lander-class shuttle as Valkyrie with 3 squads of stormtroopers. So yeah, very nice army. Should be a good fun game there.
So with the lengthways deployment and the long range of a lot of the Astra Militarum's weapons compared to mine, I had to be really aggressive straight out of the blocks, but that worked to my favour quite nicely. The Wraiths and the the Tomb Blades had great speed to be engaging the enemy sort of right in his face from turn 1 and 2 onwards, and then that freed up one of the warrior squads to just sit on the centre objective and camp it for 1 point per turn, which really racked up the score. Yeah, the Manticores did a huge amount of damage, but by the time they'd sort of done enough, I was well ahead on points, and even though he had his reserves, they weren't able to, and they were all deep striking, they weren't quite able to wrestle my objective from me, nor was I able to get him off his objective. Yeah, in the end, we both had our own side objective, but I had much more in the way of the rolling progressive points, so that worked out quite nicely. But all in all, a really fun game. Craig's a good guy to play against, and just such a nice army.
So here we go with 2 wins to 1. I'm higher up for the tournament than I was expecting earlier in the game. I'm getting ready for my final game. This is kill points with a single objective worth 4 points at the end of the game, so it could be quite decisive in the end there. My opponent is just taking his first turn now. He's got this rather cool Dark Eldar army, so we've got a pair of Ravagers, a pair of Raiders with Cabalites in, and then a pair of Raiders with Grotesques, Anuri and Rakath, and then yeah, a Beast Pack moving forward with these nice inverted clawed things made out of Tyranny Warriors and some spare Tyranny parts. So pretty cool, but does give up a lot of kill points, so interesting to see though if that manoeuvrability is going to be my undoing here.
Okay, so didn't manage to get any pictures of the last battle. We were just a bit too tight for time to stop and take pictures. But yeah, pretty close game. I thought the Necrons would have had it a little bit easier than they did. Both the Grotesque units and the Beast Pack were right in my face from really early on, and essentially played a lot of the game in my deployment zone, which I've not been used to with the Necrons so much. With the Wraiths, I tend to be very aggressive. But yeah, the Raiders were surprisingly hard to take down. He had Night Shields on all of them, which gave him a 3+ jink, and so it took longer than I expected to take down his vehicles, which meant he actually got the initial charge with the melee units off on me. But that turned things into a grind, and Dark Eldar in a grind against Necrons meant that, yeah, he was losing kill points a little bit too quickly, because the Wraiths and even more so Orokan's unit were just refusing to die and slowly wearing away at his units.
Okay, so that's the tournament over. We've popped outside to get some oxygen because, yeah, there isn't much left in there.
When you get fast, 32?
30, I believe it was 32 players, yeah.
32 players in a single room, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much room to move. God, it's bright.
Yeah, it is rather bright. Not used to this level of sun, but yeah, my last game worked out pretty well in the end. Just the sheer resilience of the Necrons, I managed to grind out against the Dark Eldar and park my Death Star on the centre objective and cut a 10-6 victory. Heels didn't quite go to plan.
No, they lost the last 2, so I won my first, lost the next 3, which I just wasn't expecting.
No, I say your nurgle had been doing so well in the practice games.
Where were we with? On game 2, he'd managed to turbo boost because we were rushing. We only got to turn 3.
Yeah, I mentioned your turn.
His turn 3, he turbo boosted because we were rushing. I didn't bubble wrap the objectives properly. My fault. On game 4, one Demon Prince died to his first 4 saves.
Oh, this is game 3, you mean? He played the same Dark Eldar player in game 3 as I played in my game 4.
Demon Prince flies up, he shoots at turn 1, 4 cover saves of 2+, and I failed them all. The Demon Prince, and then he failed a fear test with one of his characters, so he's hitting the Great and Clean 1 on 5s in a combat, and then rolls a 6 and causes instant death, and it's just like, God's sake, that's just a pain in the ass. So I got diced there a little bit. And then on game 4,
the last one,
it was pretty even, going well. I had the objective on my 6th turn. I was just inside the objective, like a good sliver in. And at the end of his turn 6, suddenly I wasn't within that objective. No models had been removed. So
you got nudged.
Yeah, I got nudged.
Oh, that's not good.
It's a bit of a shitty way
That's
to win the
pretty
game.
unusual for tournaments here, actually. Usually you have a pretty high standard. I know you get a few arseholes everywhere, but, you know, it wasn't too bad in most cases, but you just had bad luck.
Yeah, considering how well the practice games were going, I thought I'd do better. I'm a bit sick of missions now, so I'm glad to go back to Maelstrom.
Yeah, definitely. Do like a bit of Maelstrom. I think Maelstrom is... You have to control the board to do well in Maelstrom, whereas in these you can really just kind of grab them in the last turn, especially if you got things like Raiders, jet bikes, all that stuff just really is very strong in these type of Eternal War-esque missions.
It's just... and to game 2 I got last turn turbo boost score, on game 3 last turn turbo boost score, game 4, yeah, it's just... I don't like Eternal War just because it's that, oh, I'm just going to last turn terrorist onto the board. No matter how well we're doing, I win.
But a fun game, a fun tournament on the whole. Yeah, it had its moments, but I had a good time. Really liked the, Imperial Guard army I played against with Darth Vader in. That was just so cool. But yeah, anyway, let's go and see what the results are.
So, at the results and prize giving, I had two pleasant surprises. First, I'd ended up 8th overall out of 32 players, which was really good, actually better than I was expecting. I was, going into this, I'd lost more than I'd won in terms of my practice games, so to come 8th overall was really good. But then, the best thing was a bit of a surprise as well. I won the Best Painted Army. Thanks a lot to the guys who judged that. I'm glad you liked my Necrons. Strange thing was, it's not even actually as nicely painted as my old art, which the army I took to the last tournament and didn't win Best Painted Army. But yeah, that's just how it goes. On the whole, really successful day. Sucks a little bit to be Sam. He didn't have the best of luck with the way his games ended. That Nurgle army was really strong in practice, but just didn't quite sort of suit the format. I think the last turn objective grabbing really kind of made a mess of him there. But well done to the overall winner. I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but he was another Necron player. Apparently had a bit of a close run with Lee's Eldar in the final game, from what I remember. So, nice to see Necrons representing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.